As we take a look at some of the worst, most downright nasty figures in Magic the Gathering, we reach a Planeswalker with a clouded end and unforeseen future. The Planeswalker Xenagos was the main baddie, aside from the homicidal, backstabbing god Heliod, in our original story on Theros. Now that we look to return to this plane in Theros Beyond Death, it's the perfect time to review what exactly happened to Xenagos. Xenagos is a Saytr native to the plane of Theros, a plane based on an ancient Greek aesthetic ruled over by their version of the Pantheon, a series of godly figures representing aspects of the world who are seen as all-powerful and unquestionable. They rule over all mortals on Theros, and the mortals in tow provide the gods with their devotion. As a Saytr, Xenagos lived a life of comfort and low morals. This race, especially on Theros, revels in hedonism and a carefree, stress-free lifestyle. Sounds like a dream if you ask me. They party all day and night, celebrating any chance they can, living without any real laws or customs, and loosely acknowledging that gods as a force to witness, but not necessarily to follow. In this society, Xenagos was born, and in truth, he wasn't that different. He loved to party, do nothing, and overall just boogie down. But his mother saw something special in Xenagos, something special and dark. An oracle foresaw Xenagos' rise to greatness, to even challenge the gods themselves, a future his mother wanted badly for the youngster. Though this future was hard to see in reality, because of just how aggressive and downright evil Xenagos was. Even at a young age, he had already murdered a sibling, tried to murder another child, and attempted to kill his very own mother multiple times. Yet still, the promise of greatness kept her going. Eventually, as an adult, Xenagos would experience a party so rad that it would ignite his Planeswalker spark. Yes, unlike most Planeswalkers who seemingly go through a devastating trauma, Xenagos just attended a rager and poof, became a Planeswalker. I guess his hedonism was just overloaded to the point of spark igniting. Now if you ask me, that's the way I think most would prefer to have it happen, I suppose. Anyway, Xenagos used his newfound power to travel the multiverse and, you guessed it, party on other planes, experiencing all new ways to celebrate. It was certainly a thrilling time, but still, something dawned on him. The revelation that he was in fact meaningless in the grand scheme of a wider multiverse. Worse still, the gods on Theros, who he feared and that the mortals served without question, had no power outside of Theros. A sobering thought, one that would eventually drive a new, non-lazy purpose in Xenagos' life: to tear down the yoke of the gods. As he returned to Theros, he began to marshal forces with an increased fervor. Using his new magic as a planeswalker and tricks he found on other worlds, Xenagos gathered never-before-seen forces from Nyx, the realm of the gods, using magic so unknown to Theros that the gods themselves had no idea how to counter it. With his monsters, Xenagos attacked the polises and oracles of the various gods, essentially cutting off their eyes to the realm of mortals, and filling the Pantheon with complete paranoia and panic. The stage was set for his ascension. In order for a new god to form on Theros, enough mortals must believe in a particular aspect of life. This is known as devotion. Basically, as the people believe in the sun or the seas or the hunt, things like that, a god will form around that belief and join the Pantheon. Gods can also die, well, more like fade from existence. But if their belief ever falls, if people stop worshipping those aspects, they'll essentially cease to exist. Xenagos looked to manipulate that very system. He staged an attack on the city of Akros, knowing full well that the sun god Heliod's most powerful champion, the planeswalker Elspeth, was stationed there. Encouraging Minotaurs to attack, Elspeth and her forces emerged victorious, just as Xenagos had planned. In the following celebration, Akros threw a party like none had ever seen before. It was this massive influx of hedonism, debauchery, and revelry that Xenagos used to become a god. The devotion was there, Xenagos simply had to siphon it into himself. I guess as a Planeswalker, he has that power? The process here isn't clear, but the result was a towering satyr entering the realm of Nyx as a new god of revels. As you would imagine, the established gods were cheesed off, especially Heliod, who lambasted his champion Elspeth for what he saw as complicit behavior in the satyr's scheme. Xenagos during all this was causing more disruption in the Pantheon, splitting devotion, causing accusations from all gods, and turning them against one another. Heliod even threatened to destroy the mortal world itself, just for the praise he received to become a god. Theros was at a massive tipping point. Luckily, this imbalance didn't last. Heliod set his champion Elspeth to kill Xenagos. Killing a god, even a mortal who just simply ascended, was very difficult. He can only be taken on in Nyx, the realm of the gods, a mystical world filled with enchanted monsters of the Pantheon. Elspeth had with her a spear named Godsend given to her by Heliod, but that alone wasn't enough to slay the satyr. Luck also had to be on her side. Xenagos' godlike state wasn't natural, and thus wasn't stable. It took immense control and concentration to keep his form together, a hurdle the other gods didn't have to struggle with. In an effort to keep himself in Nyx, he literally stole an army of Nyxborn, the creatures of the gods, darkening the night sky and feeding off their enchanted essence. Shortly after, Elspeth and her Planeswalker companion, Ajani Goldmane, arrived and faced Xenagos. The battle was pretty one-sided. Even with a powerful weapon, Elspeth couldn't hold her ground against a god, even if it was a false god. Knocked around and pinned down and about to die, Elspeth threw her spear into Xenagos' chest. Yet this still wasn't enough. Luck caused the fall of Xenagos. The spear pierced just enough to push further an arrow that was shot into his chest when the satyr was still mortal. That arrow exploded with the power of Godsend and ripped through the internal organs of Xenagos. Xenagos fell from the sky, reverting back to a more familiar mortal form. But this is where the mystery continues. What happens to Xenagos from this point? In the stories, it's said that his body cannot be found, that only blood remained. If a being dies on Theros, their spirit remains intact in the underworld, and that's where Elspeth is. However, if they die on Nyx, they don't go to the underworld, they just die and are gone. This is the question to what happened to Xenagos. The question if we'll ever see him again. Did he die on Nyx? Or on Theros? Or did he just planeswalk away? Heliod betrayed Elspeth in Nyx and tried to kill her there. It was only thanks to Ajani that she was brought to Theros before actually dying so that she would go to the underworld and not remain lost forever. Did this happen to Xenagos? Did his godly form fall from the sky and he entered into the underworld? Did he manage to planeswalk away with his injury and get healed? Or did he really die in Nyx and is just gone? That's the last chapter of Xenagos' story, and what truly happened to him still remains muddied. I personally believe, with a set called Theros Beyond Death, Elspeth may not be the only one returning to the living. But that, you guys, is the story of Xenagos, the god of revels, and what happened to him on Theros. Learning that while officially considered dead, his story may not yet be over. And there you go, ghouls and ghosts, another deadly sin of Magic the Gathering. For this special spooky season, you can actually enter for your chance to win this video's topic discussion, its actual physical card that I'll be giving away as a treat on this, hallowed holiday. To enter, all you have to do is be a subscriber to the channel, hit the like button on this video, tick the notification bell, and leave a comment. For each of the 7 deadly MTG sins, I'll pin the winning comment to the top of that video showing the world the winner. So quick, enter as soon as you can or risk your chance at some free cards. I hope you're all enjoying the holiday and this series. I super appreciate all the community goodwill going on right now. As always guys, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, see ya.